This is, we'll call it the Corrine Lake Fire. Is there another name for it?
It's just
I built that building.
Fire.
Corrine Fire, Corrine Lake. So I didn't get the place I built, or the little carport I had. But I got all this. I don't live here now.
See the slurry?
This pink is in celebration of the Supreme Court ruling for homosexual marriages. Yeah, welcome to hell on earth, because it's going to be. This was a good place to put that building because you're in almost 24-hour shade, so it doesn't heat up as bad, you know.
But it did open up a lot of this area.
Oh yeah, it'll be more attractive. That's flame retardant. That's why that tree is orange, not just burnt. But it burned in here. Didn't get this old truck. It's like a 67, 2.5 ton Subaru. But there was a big barn up here with machines and tools and stuff that you collect, and that's gone. And there was some, that's the back of a box fan that's gone now. It was a big 40-foot trailer. That's a bus. It was a bus, but it was already a burnt bus from another fire. We're at the edge of that little plastic carport, and that's that orange stuff. So they sprayed that all down here. Just missed the building. Came right down to it. And there's some more of that orange stuff. It's actually kind of pink. Cool. Well, I don't see any orange up in here, but they trimmed all the trees up. And
they nailed your building a little bit, but that's not bad.
Yeah, just barely.
Yeah.
But what they really did was clean the place up because they got these limbs out of the way, so now it has more of a park-like look. Up in here is the same way. I don't know if that pink pattern will come up or not, but it does have that odd quality to it.
So you should go up to that rock and take a picture of it.
Well, it's starting to rain, so I guess we better go. This is odd. Raining. It's July 28th. June 28th. So this is the original aqueduct. Did you know that? That's the original aqueduct that was put in around 1890. And then this aqueduct that we're driving over was put in, I think, in the 1920s. And inside those tunnels are these nests of daddy longlegs, the size of basketballs. It looks like moss until you touch it and the whole thing starts coming alive. It's impressive. You ever seen these things?
No.
Just go into one of those tunnels, you'll see them. So that fire will show up. So it started somewhere down in there, and that's road. There's a road down there, which is 222. And then up in here you can see where hopefully it burned, and there's a dirt road there called Box Canyon. And where we were is road 222 near the top of near North Fork. Again, they're not trying to ID that tree. I can't tell what it is from here, but it doesn't look like a cedar because the branches extend laterally so far. At first I thought it was a redwood, but that doesn't really fit. So we're at Corrine Lake now. So water goes down there. And then it drops 1,500 feet to Lake Kerchoff at about a 45-degree angle through 2 4-foot pipes. Yeah, so the last time I examined the situation, well, first of all this lower growth 10 years ago was almost non-existent. So even this thing here then, okay, that was down here 10 years ago. So this is a redwood, coastal redwood.
No doubt.
Yeah, we can tell by the bark and the needles. So this is coastal. Now the ones we've got at my place, you know, we got about 1,000 of the giant sequoias. That looks more like a cedar. The leaf does, but this is coastal. So we're looking up, and that's why they extend laterally. Yeah, so there's 3 of these growing up.
This is a young one.
Well, it's over 200. There's 3 of these growing up at the top of Jose Basin Road and Italian Bar Road intersection. They're probably about 60 years old.
I'm going to try and clone this.
This building, I think, was put in originally around, I think, turn of the century. You know, this is part of that aqueduct system. And in there are a couple of dynamos, and the doors are open sometimes, and everything spins and hums. I had a 7-foot stump on this piece of property I own with a friend in the Santa Cruz Mountains above Boulder Creek. And that 7 foot was cut about 7 or 8 feet off the ground. You know how they did that. Okay, and so it was a nice flat piece of wood. So that's a big, that sounds pretty big. And at the base, it measured 32 feet in circumference. So it was almost 10 feet at the base. So I went into Big Basin Park, which is only about 10 miles of driving, and that thing looked like a tree root compared to what those big trees are.
You know, when these white guys first came up on these redwoods, these logging guys, can you imagine what they were thinking when they saw this?
Yeah, it's hard to appreciate the proportion.
They were like, oh,
because that tree looked big.
Trees will make us wealthy just one.
Yeah.
You know, redwood. And you're talking massive boards, but some of the stumps you could build a house on.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, a friend of mine had an 8-foot stump, about 7 feet off the ground, and he built a 3-story house out of it.
You see this?
Which is now part of Big Basin State Park.
This right here, this is a clone.
I would
all these are clones all the way around. These are all clones.
Right, right.
So it will clone, but
I would drive into Big Basin State Park and park, and then I could walk 2 miles and be at his
you
house.
see this low ground stuff? Somewhere around it rooted and made this tree.
Yeah, well, these things send up suckers. That's what happens. They're like,
Right. Well,
they're a hydra tree. You cut
roots,
one off and you
there's
get 10
another one.
more.
It'll root into the freaking ground. I like how they got it freedom.
All right, so that's about 4 feet across. So it goes like this for about a mile or so. We're on Road 222, and we're going downhill, hopefully. And it was really more of a grass fire. Most of these trees aren't hurt. Now we're at the the furthest extension. Let's see what direction I'm going. And we were up there. Corrine Lake is back there. So most of these trees are okay. Just a few hundred feet further down, and seems to be as far as it extended. We're heading in a southerly direction, and again that would be Corrine Lake up there. So up top is Corrine Lake, and it comes down here about 1,500 feet and goes into this little room, which was installed in around 1890, and that is an 1890 Westinghouse unit, which means it's Tesla. That's where Tesla was. He developed these, and this was I'm reading something here. This plant was put in 1896. So that's it, 1896, right there, Nikola Tesla. And that's Kerchoff Lake. There's a lot of people coming down here now that the economy's gone sour. They don't travel far away. They come up here much more. See, my house, I used to live up here for about 10 years, less than a mile in a straight line. And after '08, many more people have been coming down here. That's a blue agave, and it's bloomed, which is a big event. I have a friend about 15 miles from here that has one that just did this. He says they die when this happens. I don't know, but it doesn't look happy. Those leaves should be perkier. They're all desaturated. They're not big and up and fluffy like they would be normally. So that's flowering. I'm sure that doesn't show. It's a white flower and a nice shade of green. It's hard to describe.